Welcome to my channel, Changing Your Narrative. For those of you new to the channel, subscribe. I'm continuously sharing videos that are focused on becoming a better you. Today's topic is around weeping and letting go. As you're making these decisions of changing your narrative, and as you're digging deep into your core and looking back at where you've come from, what's held you back, what do I need to deal with, those labels, those rejections, those closed doors, loving myself, loving others genuinely. Weeping and letting go is so important. I've been to courses where the instructor says, hey, go get a sheet of paper and write down things you need to let go. Things that are holding you back from your career or holding you back from your personal development to reach your highest potential. I've done that. I've thrown away the paper in the garbage. I've ripped it. I've done all those things. But after the class, sometimes I'm still carrying those things. And I have. I've carried those things. And why I want to talk to you today about weeping. Weeping and crying and letting it out is part of letting go. Some of us need to cry. Some of us need to weep on someone's shoulder. Some of us need to be held while we're crying. Even if we can't get the words out, we need to cry and mourn situations that have hurt us for many years. As a little girl, I was taught not to cry. I was taught to weep in silence. That's what I called it. Weep in the room, under the covers. And when I tried to explain or share why I was crying, no one wanted to hear it. They were like, okay, be quiet. Why are you crying? You're making a big deal out of stuff. You don't know anything. You're exaggerating. You're seeing things wrong. You're making up stories. All those statements. What happened was that as a child, I never learned how to really deal with pain. So what I did is I became one of those people who would cry and weep in silence behind closed doors. When I was about to go to sleep, I'll cry. Driving by myself in the car, I would cry. But no one was ever there to say, why are you crying? What is hurting you inside? And several years ago, I'm so blessed and I'm so thankful. This person who's my best friend, my counselor, we were having a conversation and she saw my eyes get really teary when I was trying to talk about something. Well, that was pain trying to come out through tears, but I kept it as shut up, as barricaded down for people never to see. But it was coming through my eyes. And she stopped. She's like, what's wrong with you? is there something that I said that, or are we talking about something that, and because I was getting to know her in the beginning, and because it's hard for me to trust, and that's a whole nother topic we'll talk about in another episode, trust. Because as you're growing, you need to also trust others and deal with situations that have impacted you trusting others. I started to share intimate situations and things that happened to me as a child. She got to know the little girl inside of me. And as I was sharing the things of the little girl, and as I started to share more and more throughout future conversations about that little girl, and she started counseling me of how that little girl had to be dealt with because she was affecting other areas of my life. And I was weeping and crying. I finally felt a sense of relief. I finally felt heard. I finally felt heard. I felt heard and cared for and understood, cuddled, something that I really got hugs when I was in pain. I felt that this person was not judgmental and telling me to be quiet and silence myself. That what I was seeing and what I was experiencing was all made up on my mind. And as I started pouring that area of my life, I started pouring other areas of other pains that I was going through and things that I had sealed. Again, the barricade. Again, shut down. And through that weeping and through those moments of crying and cleaning my tears and crying and sometimes not having words to say because I couldn't really sometimes put the words together, I started healing. I started healing finally. And as you're changing your narrative, it's okay to weep. Even if you don't have words to say, it's okay to cry and not have to cry in silence. It's okay. That is a form, and that has helped me let go of a lot of things and move forward. For me, putting it on paper and looking at it and throwing it in the garbage can never worked. I did it for many years, but it would always rear its head back. I needed to go to the root, and I needed to mourn those events and those situations and those painful points in my life. I needed to mourn them. I needed to grieve them in order to heal and to get over them and let them go and move on in my life. So I encourage you, find someone who you can cry on, that is not judgmental, that holds you, that cares for you, listens to you, hears you, empathizes with you. Because this journey is ongoing and there will be a lot of revelations. And that weeping could become the turning point of your life because you're dealing with things that you've held close to your chest and you kept behind the barricade. See you again in my next episode. It's all about becoming the better you.